What's up, squad? This is Brandon from the Bantu Sun. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, I want to talk about a recent critical mineral conference that was held by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the speaker, of course, VP Vice President JD Vance. It was held for a little bit over 50 countries. And at this conference, it was revealed about basically formalized a strategic initiative by the Trump administration to develop more control on the flow of critical minerals in the world amongst select countries. So, first thing I want to do is I'll go through it's 50 countries, so I'll quickly go through some major, most of them, some major callouts, and then I'll talk about kind of what I think about it. So I'll start with North America. You have Canada, United States, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and these are just kind of invitees, right? So there has been dozens of MOUs or memorandums of understanding, but it hasn't necessarily been trade deals. That's basically saying we have intent to make deals. So just because they're invited, don't mean they signed on, and just because they have a memorandum of understanding doesn't mean it's going to necessarily be a trade deal. But anyway, so that's North America. South America, Ecuador, Peru, Brazil, Paraguay, Bolivia, Argentina, Europe. It was European Union as a bloc, but Scandinavia, your Sweden, Norway, Finland, Lithuania, Estonia, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Belgium, France, Germany, Czech Republic, Romania, Greece. I was surprised a lot of these countries were surrounding Denmark, but Denmark didn't get a call out in this list. So I just thought it was interesting because of the whole Trump situation with Greenland. Africa, you got Morocco, Guinea, Sierra Leone, the DRC, who's Trump's recent golden child in Africa right now, Angola, and Zambia. So Zambia is going to share the border with DRC. You know, they have that extensive copper belt. It's going to be Jordan, a lot of the Gulf oil states. So your Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Armenia, which was interesting to me. Former Russian ally. They just got done dirty by the Turks with Azerbaijan and Turkey with Nagorno-Karabakh, but they were invited. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, India, Pakistan, Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, South Korea, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. This is Oceania now. Australia, New Zealand, Cook's Islands. So that's going to take care of the lion's share, if not all of the countries. So some of the observations I noticed is there's going to be this is about critical minerals, and they framed a conversation around keeping China, basically counteracting China, because China has such a stronghold on especially rare earths. And the reason why is because rare earths is really dirty, and the Chinese have invested in the industry a lot more than other countries for numerous reasons. One of them being the Green Revolution. But it's about America's basically saying we're not going to be beholden in by China and these supply chains. So they collected this group of countries, and just like most Trump groups, they're kind of eclectic to me. I don't know why you have Pakistan and India in there. Usually, like, what are you going to get done with them? So, like Armenia, Uzbekistan. So some of these countries, it's just that you can find better resources or better supplies in other places, but they pick who they pick for numerous reasons. Strategic choke points. Singapore is going to be on this list, maybe because of key refinings, political allies, etc. Funny things like I just saw Colombia. Colombia wasn't on this list of invitees, and the Colombian president been trying to cozy up with President Trump. They resources that are really going to be big is going to be a lot with the EVs or modern industrial economy. Your nickel, lithium, manganese. Like that's why Cook's Island. If you see a list with Cook's Islands, you know it's something going on with Cook's Islands. But Cook's Islands have supposedly a mineral-rich seabed. It's also, I think, going to be kind of a denial because you're going to have a lot of resources in Southeast Asia. But also, the more people Trump can bring in his circle, the less countries China has to work with as well. So it's going to be interesting seeing these countries and their relationship evolve and what actually comes about this. But I thought this, that being said, and I think critical minerals is very important. I monitor critical minerals list, but previously it was for defense reasons. This is going to be just as much for economic as well as defense reasons. And the reason why is because a lot of governance is maintaining your supply chain and resources because you have to be able to supplement or provide for your people. So during wartime, you have to ensure you have these supply chains for defense. So critical minerals has always been the key to me for national defense and national integrity. If you can't feed your people, you can't arm your people, are you really a state? And now it's coming to the forefront, and the reason it's coming to the forefront is because this is the real new world order to me. This is the new age that we're moving in. This new age of AI being a human multiplier, and the plants that it's going to take to power AI and the energy that it's going to take to do that and implement AI. And we're seeing, to me, something very revolutionary. In the past, people kind of always matter. You know, it was when you, I think about World War II and the German, the Nazis and the Soviets fighting, and I would go back to World War One, but it was points where they say, you know, the Russians were never known for being the best armed. They had the most people when it came to Europe, and the soldier would run with the gun, and when the soldier in front of you gets shot down, they say the soldier behind them will pick up the gun and keep running. So people matter, even though the Soviets wasn't as well armed at the time as the Germans. They had manpower, and through their manpower, they were in their manpower and geographic depth. They was able to eventually overcome the Germans. Of course, with help from allies, but they did a lot of the heavy lifting themselves from a manpower point of view, and they were able to overcome the numerically inferior Germans. And when we're moving to this age now with AI, and this has never been possible before AI, like you can see a country, um, like a small country like Ecuador, conquer a big country like Brazil. Not literally, but the capacity will be there. You can have a very small country through use of AI be able to multiply their ability, their coordination, the logistics, optimization. And when you have a country, in this situation will be Brazil, although this is not true, but it will be numerically superior by hundreds of millions of people, right? But technologically inferior. They don't have access to the critical resources or the satellites in space or Wi-Fi, things of this nature. The communication cables are outside of their control. So you can have a situation in the future where you're seeing countries conquered by armies they never even seen because of uh, geographical grids of communication, shooting missiles controlled by satellites in space, and all of a sudden they're just on your doorstep. And that's never really happened before. And in this age, it's I'm truly trying to struggle with the value of the human being. Of course, it's going to be for ethical reasons, but you have to. But this is subjective by cultures, correct? So you really have to understand what is the universal value of the human being in this. Maybe creativity and novelty, of course, because a lot of this is based on a lot of AI is based on best practices of past data. But you're looking at a world where these countries with large populations that are in poverty or have very low educations, they're going to be an extreme disadvantage. This is an age of drones in the air, on the sea, and on land. This is an age of electrical grids that can be cut off from remotely. Your computer systems be attacked remotely. So this really is going to be a boon to if you're a developed country and you have the ability to invest in infrastructure and education of your demography. This age is really built to help you flourish. It's not so much if you're a country and you have a lot of people that are poorly educated, because this right here, what they're doing with this critical minerals thing, it's probably one of the most common things I've ever seen. No, it's not. I'm not being facetious, but it really is market manipulation, and it goes back to protectionism and global blocks, where it says you're gonna have certain powers. They're going to partner up with certain countries with these resources, and they're going to create imperial blocks. America going to have their block. I'm surprised India's in this. Has got an invitation, so it's going to be interesting to see the role they play within this group down the line. And China's going to have their block of countries, and there's going to be certain countries that have resources that the world can't live without, like Russia. America still trades with Russia on some key mineral resources because it can't replace them in the world. As much as America bemoaned Europe for needing oil. So the point of the matter is that there are going to be some countries that are going to rise because they have resources that are built for this new world, this new economy. And there's going to be some countries that's going to have to find a new way because this is obviously going to challenge things such as oil, which is going to have a different route in the future or a different primary use. It will work in conjunction with EVs or with AI for whatever uses that may be. Nevertheless, the point of the matter is this is a new day, and it's really built to create this bifurcation between the privilege that have yachts, as they say, but the privilege or the developed economies that educate their population and large, very what you can say crude society where you have low urbanization rates because they're not people in the city, they're not going to universities, they're not integrated into the everyday economy, and those countries are still going to be in the dark ages, more or less, and not being able to infiltrate these blocks as these alliances start to harden up. So it's definitely a new day. It's a scary world. Some of those countries, I was surprised I didn't see Turkey on there. Obviously, it's some omissions and inclusions that I thought were odd, but who knows? Over time, I think those alliances are going to balance out. But yeah, get ready for it, guys. Love to hear your thoughts on this new age, this new world of AI, of drones, of EV and robotics. Comment below. Like, share, subscribe if you enjoy the content. And until next time, take care. Bantu up.